You know how fast you're going?
I wanted to have something funny to say as we switched over, but I just started laughing instead.
You know how fast the stream is going?
Too fast. But is it too furious?
I hope so. That was such a good movie. Sorry, I can't say that without gagging.
This is just us living up to the name of the show, switching over after token. All discombobulated.
Welcome to the show.
It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. We are Top Rope Tokes here to talk to you about AEW Dynamite. I'm just saying. Nope, that way. That guy over there.
Gotta get me. It's me. Right here. Right here. I'm right here, you guys. Range of motions. I'm here.
I know my directions.
Oh, man.
So,
I'm ready.
I don't think we need to do everything that we normally do for this, but we at least have to talk about this. We weren't live last week. If you watched the week before that, or the week before that, or the week before that, you already know why.
Yeah, we went to Dynamite last week and Rampage. So we watched Rampage last week too. Bam.
And it was a real watch along, a real live show. So I gotta admit something, looking back on this show tonight. Part of me wishes this was our show.
This was a good show tonight.
I was excited.
That and they gave you the ending that we all wanted. So
it feels like it's taken forever because they had been teasing that for so long. But
you gotta keep them wanting. You gotta keep the people wanting.
The show we went to last week, lots of people, I watched lots of reviews online to see how different people felt about it. It was great because one of the parts I would always skip to was when somebody would review the Christian Cage segment last week.
Oh yeah. I listened to podcasts, which is not normal for me, just because I wanted to hear what people had to say about Detroit crowd. And yeah, we're as obnoxious as advertised.
So, like, I definitely watched my normal ones, even though I didn't really need to being there, but which is just really quick recap videos. But then I watched a couple of people I hadn't watched in a while. Every single one at least talked about the crowd for that segment. Wrestle Talk in their short videos, the very first start of the night on their recap, they talked about how good the crowd was. But then once they got to the Christian segment, nuclear was the word used.
Can we say Detroit hates Christian?
Christian hates Detroit. Stupid Canadian.
Christian Cage hates us. We hate him. It's a match made in heaven. Or a match made in hate.
So, I have a question for you. We got the
I have an answer for you.
Sort of got to see the return of Thunder Rosa, right?
We kind of did.
You were with me in like a Discord call when Miro made his return like a year ago, right?
Yeah.
You remember my reaction when he returned that time?
Mm-hmm.
How do you think I would have reacted if I saw him like actually in arena make his return last week as opposed to a video thing on the board? Because I still like have my breath taken away moment, like Miro.
Yeah, because I remember I yelled, "Oh, Miro!" and you were like, just breath taken away. Just, it's Miro.
In Thunder Rosa, that's cool and everything, but like had Miro actually music hit in the arena, because and it would be an obvious thing to know who it is because his start is very distinct with like that horn.
Oh yeah.
I would have maybe been confused for like half a second for not hearing it in so long, but I have no idea what it would happen if he actually was like returning in the arena as a surprise.
I would have recorded you and not what was actually happening.
It's actually kind of cool because we'll get to it tonight because Tony Khan made the official announcement. It's been speculated of Collision Saturday nights. It's official. But it's kind of cool that we can look back and say we were there for like the start of the story purpose as to why certain people are going to be certain places, like them going into his office and all that.
Yeah. That was really that was unexpected, cool as hell. So I was like, are we really gonna just get like a regular Dynamite with no nothing? And I'm like, nope, we got some reveals. We got some reveals.
The turn in the main event at Don Callis and the way that arena basically.
Oh, I'm still thinking about the V trigger out of the cage. The V trigger out of the cage was dope.
So I haven't asked you this. So this is the first time we would have talked about this. I noticed early in that match that wall that broke in the cage was like gimmick, like it was already kind of bowed out.
Yeah.
Was that like that right from the start of the match for what the eventual thing that would happen, or did there happen to be something that I missed in the match where like somebody got shoved into it hard to force that?
I'm not sure, but I think it was always kind of bumped out a little bit.
I mean, it makes sense. It makes all sense in the world. I was just kind of curious if I missed it or if that was an example of TV magic, making sure you only shoot certain angles, etc.
Yeah. So yeah, it probably you probably couldn't tell it all on TV. I'm willing to bet I didn't. I obviously didn't watch it back, but you probably couldn't tell at all that the cage wall was ready to come down. But from the side that we were on, definitely you could tell for sure.
Because we were
at some point it was going to come down, or
yeah, because we had that perfectly wrong angle going like right along that wall where any kind of bump out, like we were gonna be able to see.
Right. Yeah, we were right at that edge of the cage right there.
If this was still something that happened in arenas, like how it used to, I really feel like Detroit would have rained down like all of our trash on Don Callis, but that doesn't happen anymore. I'm thankful for it because people threw crazy shit, but
yeah, we ain't gonna do that.
I just mean like the amount of booze that happened when that shit happened. It just reminded me of those old shows from like the 90s and even before that when you would see stuff like rain down. That man was hated.
Yeah. I think wrestling fans have gotten more tame, especially now that more people know that it's not real.
True.
Because, they kept up that kayfabe back in the day.
They tried, but I feel like even us as kids, like we were already well aware. Like telling us wrestling was fake at like 8 years old was basically the same thing as saying like Santa isn't real. Like we know, but we're still playing along.
Yeah. Shit, at 8, I think I still thought it was real at that time. Yeah, speak for yourself, Mr. Genius.
It's not necessarily what I thought. I heard it from everyone to the point where like it's not real. Like when you hear it from as many people that were saying it, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, but that's probably is around the time though when I finally started to realize it. My dad would always point out when someone missed a punch or something.
Yeah, there's all those people that want to ruin our fans' fun. Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. Yeah, like I was, and the Undertaker was a real dead man. God,
When it
motherfuckers, you
really clicked,
ruined it for, you
we
ruined
really
it for
clicked
me.
on how fake it is. Wait, yeah, that guy can't actually have like superpowers and shit.
Yeah,
He's
no,
not
he
actually
does.
dead.
He's fucking real, man. And you guys ruined it for me. And now I'm living in this world with the rest of you that think wrestling isn't real.
It's still real to me, damn it. I'm trying to think. A Christian, and then because we have to acknowledge it, this man had to give me a hug in the middle of the show because he knew I was not going to be happy about something when they announced like the week before that the whole Adam Cole banned from the arena.
That was and see, and then yeah, he had just bought that shirt because he was like, you know what, I'm gonna get to see Adam Cole today. I'm buying an Adam Cole shirt, and
I was grasping at straws, man. I'm like, it's wrestling. He may be banned from the arena, but that don't mean shit. It's wrestling.
mhm.
Fucker.
Yeah, man, it's okay.
We've been to 3 shows in 1 year. I have not got to throw my hands up in the air and yell, Adam Cole, baby.
All right.
I swear if this gets to number 4,
I was gonna say if it, like, if somehow he's not at all out, then you're gonna have to write a letter.
I don't know what I'll have to do with myself. Although, at least later in the night during the Rampage taping, we talked about this earlier. The music we didn't necessarily go into the show knowing that we needed to hear hit.
Yeah, yeah, that was special for me, man. Because while it was happening, that's when I was realizing I've never heard the Hardy Boys music live before,
It was
and yeah, it just, it takes you all the way back to fucking like fifth grade.
it was like the most calmest freak out I've ever had in my life. Because it was like one of those things, it was just kind of one of those like surreal moments where like you stop, there's like this weird energy like to your body, like whole, and it's slowly like crashing over you like a wave. You're like, I've never seen this live.
Yeah, because you know how you know we were excited, or well, how I know I was excited is because I didn't remember standing up, but I was standing up.
I just remember I'm sitting there like dealing with it, like it's a good amount of time. It's not when the music first hit, but I had to reach over to you and be like, hey,
Yeah,
what the hell's happening right now?
yeah, and I was like, well, this is a feeling that I've never felt before. Like I've definitely never heard this song in person before, and it feels different because you hear it on TV, but it's different in person.
I
It's
wanted to hear
completely
Adam
different.
Cole's music in person.
One day, man. One day. Like I said, keep your fingers crossed until all out.
For the love of God, Adam Cole, stay healthy. For the love of God, because if you're healthy, you're on that show. Period.
Yeah. That's why I said just keep your fingers crossed, because tough.
It's almost like we cursed him. He literally got injured days before our first AEW show.
Wow.
Because it was Forbidden Door and we were at Dynamite 3 days later.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Mm.
I missed him by 3 days.
You poor man, you. You poor man.
All right, we knew at some point because there was talk, but it didn't happen. We were talking about recording a reaction to me not seeing Adam Cole when it happened
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the show, and I was gonna put it in the video from our trip there. It didn't, so at least I need to let that out into the world.
Yeah. So how you like, you don't get to see Adam Cole 3 times in person, and then the next week when he's banned from the arena, he's there
Listen,
in Texas.
listen. The worst part is you know what? I'm gonna pin in it for like 2 minutes, and we can, while I'm riled up about it, we can come back to it to kick off the actual this week's show. I'm gonna try and end with a positive note. I may not have got to see Adam Cole. We may have missed the return of Adam Page to the Elite. We may have missed all that by 1 week. Because also, if I heard Hangman's music in that scenario, yeah, I get to be super excited because 1, 2, 3 days time, Maki Ito, Ali Catch, Allison Kay, for local reasons and favoritism reasons, all a part of a big match, which includes Masha, and I forgot who the 5th person was. I apologize. I just know you weren't one of my favorites.
It is on the tip of my tongue.
It's right. I'll have the graphic in front of my face in about 3 seconds. Shasta McKenzie.
Shaza, yes.
Oh, wait. This is a 6th person. Lufisto as well.
Oh.
And the East West Express getting back together, so Jordan and Oliver and Nick Wayne in the same match as a team again. Motor City Machine Guns. See them not in Chicago, which makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, you get to cheer for them without being glared at by the entire crowd.
Or having giant crowds of fuck Detroit going on around you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That was fun.
It's a memory. So,
Me, I'm like, fuck Chicago. Where were we?
Hoffman Estates.
Hoffman Estates. Yeah, that's it. I was like, where were we that wasn't Chicago? Hoffman Estates.
That's their version of Pontiac or
Yeah,
Auburn Hills.
It's their, yeah, that's where their Palace of Auburn Hills is.
For the Detroit Pistons.
I'm so happy they're in Detroit. So happy.
So I've been to LCA twice now, and neither one of them have been for a hockey game or a basketball game. AEW.
Hey, hockey and basketball tickets are probably going to be real cheap next season. Because our teams are going to suck ass.
No, I think the Red Wings are in a position that they could pull something off. Because they have the added draft capital that if there's some kind of superstar who gets traded this offseason, Detroit's like one of those teams that has the ammunition. Like they have, I think, an extra first, an extra second this year, an extra first next year. Like they are stocked up pretty good.
Okay.
And I think they're going to have cap space too, so they can use that to advantage. Not to the same extent of the NBA, where it's like, hey, give me a first round pick just so I can eat your bad contract. NHL's not that steep and that kind of stuff. Yeah. But their draft picks also matter beyond number 1, 2, or 3, depending on the year.
Well, Hopefully they make some kind of move then. That'll be cool. Because it would be cool if we're going to have two good teams instead of just one.
And that's the sad part, is the team that you're mentioning as the one is the one team that we can never trust in the history of anything in Detroit.
Yeah.
There's been stretches for all three of the other teams where you're like, they're going to be good this year because they were last year and the year before and the year before. We've seen it with the Tigers. We've seen it with the Pistons, 7 straight Eastern Conference Finals. And I mean, literally, the Red Wings dominated and made the playoffs for 25 straight years. So, or was it 26?
I was gonna say there was a time in our adult lives that we didn't know of the Red Wings to not be a playoff team.
I mean, we were alive when they weren't a playoff team, but we were too young to know a goddamn thing.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. There was a time when we were in our adult lives when we did not know if the Red Wings losing in the play or losing before, not making it to the playoffs, I should say. That's so I guess the Lions had to be trash the entire time to make up for it. But it's time.
I never thought about it that way. For as good as the Wings were, the Lions were, well, they were worse for a lot longer than that, though.
Yeah. It wasn't the Wings' fault.
But when the Wings are bad was right around the time that the Pistons had won back-to-back titles in almost 3 in a row.
Damn.
And the Tigers were good in the 80s too.
Something. Yeah, you're on to something, because the Tigers were winning.
But the Wings and the Lions sucked.
Yeah, the Tigers and Pistons won.
Don't ask me about the 70s, man. I think the Wings were good in like the 60s or the 50s. Lions were good in the 50s. I can't speak to the other ones. Wait, Tigers won in the 60s.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
But I don't know nothing else.
We can only have 2 good teams.
Well, what's our second good team going to be? It's going to be the Red Wings then.
They're in the best position.
Because it's not the Pistons or the Tigers, that's for sure.
Ooh, I just realized we can't necessarily go into Dynamite with that match because we had started something new recently. We talk about the good, the
I
bad,
didn't do that,
and the ugly. Neither have I, so it's completely off rip. So easily enough, I feel like the good is finally getting the culmination of the elite back together. Use the same one if you need to.
That was... Damn it. Yeah, that's the good. That was the good. I can't use something else. That's definitely the good.
Ooh, hold on, no. I'll let you have that because there is something else. Sammy Guevara is a babyface.
You froze for a minute there. I hope it was just me.
Stream stuff hasn't flashed red yet, so I'll keep an eye on it. But yeah, so Sammy Guevara's a babyface.
Is that your bad?
No, I'm leaving that as good. I'm like, you could have the elite because we've been talking about Sammy turning babyface for a while. And it felt like a very natural story progression, and he got a hell of a pop when he finally, at the end of the night, came out.
Hey, that hometown stuff does that shit, you know what I'm saying? Oh, man.
Damn, Daniel. Yep, it was good.
Oh, I got a bad now.
What's your bad? Because I need a second to think about it.
My bad.
Oh.
My bad. No, you don't even know. You have no idea. My bad is that the firm came out without Stokely.
Okay. You know what?
The firm needs to come out with Stokely.
I need to think of a different bad because I can't think of an ugly, so I might have to use a certain other thing for ugly. The bad.
My ugly is always something fashion related.
Bad. It's shortly before Double or Nothing, and we have no clue if Jade will even wrestle.
Hey, she's got an open challenge on Friday. That's per usual.
Considering like half the matches for the pay-per-view were announced officially for tonight, I'm like, that doesn't make me feel great about it. So
Yeah, it's probably gonna be another Jadeless pay-per-view.
to kind of stick with show themes for my ugly. For 2 weeks in a row, Orange Cassidy did not open the show and said it was a Wardlow promo.
But he got beat up though.
Thankfully, it was super short, but still, either way, when you and I both reacted the way that we did when he came out to start the show talking, that was not the exciting feeling I want to start off Dynamite.
Yeah, not gonna lie, my as much as I wanted to be positive, my instant reaction was they're starting the show with Wardlow? Okay, whatever. Wait, he's wearing street clothes? He's gonna talk to start the show? Oh.
Yeah, it's a whole different ballgame, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I did not want to see Wardlow start the show talking, but he got beat up right away. So that was all right with me.
It was actually funny because the joke made about we went from booing Christian so loudly last week to being happy he came out this week. I feel bad for being such a hater, but it is what it is. Get good. Now see, if there was 2 good categories, I know what the other thing would have been. And I guess I could use this. No, it could have been bad. Could have been any of these things for me. We got, and I pretty much called how it went in the Roderick Strong versus Chris Jericho Falls Count Anywhere match. Half hour before the match started. What did I say to you?
I mean, it was obvious what was going to happen there. I like the way they got to it, which, this was one of those situations where I really didn't mind that it was very obvious what was happening the whole time, because the meat of getting to what was obviously going to happen was pretty entertaining.
Ooh, I just thought about this. So this is your first time. No, Strong had that tag team match, but this is the second match of Roderick Strong for you. How do you feel? Granted,
I feel like he's Roderick Strong.
Granted, Chris Jericho is Chris Jericho of like 1998 to like 2005, 2010 or anything.
Right. I mean, he's clean in the ring. He sells well.
So that's kind of why the person I try to compare him to for you is kind of like how Takeshita had been. Super clean wrestler, like actual wrestling type of moves, along with pretty good strikes when they use strikes.
Yeah.
Not the most developed of personality.
Okay. Yeah. It's yeah. Well, I don't know. He didn't need to show me any personality in this match, really, because Jericho is Jericho, and he's going to take over. When it comes to showing your character, it's got to be Jericho.
Oh, I didn't mean necessarily in this match, but just like,
yeah,
that's how I kind of compare. I'm like,
but
hey,
yeah,
you can
yeah,
kind of
he's
expect this
definitely
out of
good.
him. Just a lot smaller than Takeshita as well.
Yeah. See, you're messing it up here. What's your ugly?
I said my ugly. Did you never say? Oh, you never
No,
said you're ugly.
because you said like six bads, one ugly, like another good. Like you were just throwing
No,
out a bunch of stuff over there.
no, I
It's
was
like,
at.
yeah, the whole show was
Oh, that
good,
was
bad,
just.
and ugly.
No, what it was is I forgot that you didn't say you're ugly. So then
So
I just
yeah,
kind of
that's why
was
I was
doing like
like, so
random
what
stuff to wrap
actually
it
is
up.
your
No, my
ugly?
ugly was
Because
Wardlow starting
yeah,
the show.
yeah, okay, all right,
I forgot you never went
yeah,
because I went second on the one before. It probably threw me off. Go on, sir. You're ugly.
yeah. My ugly was Jay Lethal's underwears.
No, the worst part is when that all happened in the show, what did we say was gonna be like? That was instantly. That's our good. The strip show.
Hmm. Yeah, Jay Lethal's undies. Those are definitely the uglies. Because those, I'm like, I definitely think they were like little kid pattern undies,
I think there were like comics or something on them.
some kind of comic, something like that. Yeah.
So I just realized what you. If you're gonna go a reference to that segment, you hated so much that they used the wrong guitar on the wrong member of FTR.
Yeah, that was upsetting for me. I wanted to see Dax get hit with the Dax and Cash get hit with the Cash. You know, it was real simple. But they couldn't even give me fucking Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal together. They can't give me anything I want.
I think them just being a team together is probably against everything that you want.
Yep.
I mean,
But I'm trying here, okay?
right? Like, it works. I understand the rhyme and the reason. I do. But I want such different things for Jay Lethal. Sanjay Dutt's great, though.
Sanjay Dutt is incredible. That pencil guy, it's one of my favorite people. That segment, since we're going into it though, that segment, I thought just the start of it was great because Tony Giovanni is like, "Hey, here comes the Lethal team."
Screw you, Shivani.
And I'm like, come on, man, don't bring those fucks out. And then FTR jumps them before they even get off of them, like the stage.
No, that's why I said screw you, Shivani, because they weren't gonna come down to the ramp. They were gonna stay up there. They come out to the top of the stage and they stop. He's like, screw you, Shivani.
Like, hell yeah, FTR.
Right.
Jump them asses.
We talk about the stupid wrestling tropes, like when the music plays for way too long, look behind you kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
FTR did something smart by attacking the biggest man and throwing him off the stage right away.
Yeah. Because it feels like, because they play dumb sometimes, but FTR, it feels like they should be smart in everything that they do. Like they should be more calculated, and I like that.
That was basically their entire heel persona when they were with WWE. Well, at least NXT. Once they got to the main roster, main roster call-ups are well documented to suck.
That's what I've heard. That is what I've heard.
So then there's all this chaos that breaks out. They're, fighting around. Satnam's gut down. And then I think Dax had like tried to throw Jay into the ring, or Jay was trying to get away, and like it grabbed him by the pant leg. It just ripped completely down the side.
Jay is trying to get in the ring, and Dax is trying to grab him, and his pants just rip.
So the best part is, I don't think you ever planned for that, right? I don't think that was story. But they went with it all out after, because like Dax ripped off his shirt, then he took one of his shoes and chucked it.
Yeah, like Jay Lethal's just like one pant leg on one, like it's like who's ring, it's like how Ruby's ring gear used to be, where she had like one pant leg and one shorts leg.
Hmm. But the short leg is more
But
like
the
a dress with a slit all the way to the very top.
yeah, that's, and then Jay Lethal's patterned underwear showing underneath. God, that was fucking great. But yeah, they hit him with the wrong guitars though.
So not only that, but they end up getting, because Dax takes care of Lethal, but then they get in the ring and they're about to hit the big rig on Jarrett. Karen Jarrett gets in the ring, in, I don't mean to do this in any kind of name, but it's how you stereotype like whores and strippers. Like the giant heels, like the lace up, everything. I'm like, it was just such an awkward look I didn't expect. I just kept looking at her in like 6-inch heels, maybe even more in platform shoes.
I didn't even recognize her because I pushed her out of my memory.
I would have never even thought of her, but she low blows Cash. Jeff Jarrett hits the stroke.
It's that stroke.
And then it's your other favorite moment of the night. The wrong person, wrong guitar.
Yeah. Yeah, that was whack. Because you bring out a Cash guitar and a Dax guitar, but then you hit Cash with the Dax guitar and Dax with the Cash guitar. You messed. Come on.
And the thing is,
You match them up.
it wasn't even
Just do
done
it.
like quickly or anything, like where it's off a
It
panic
took
or
forever.
something. You had all the time in the world to get it right.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know what? I'm just going to say that I am happy that that's my thing to be nitpicky about today. Because normally it is like, you guys don't book black people right, or God damn it, Wardlow. Today is just, you use the wrong guitars. So I'll take it. But still, use the right guitars next time. And please let there be a next time. I want them to get hit with guitars more.
FTR?
Yep.
Why?
I don't know. Somebody's got to get hit with a guitar. If Jeff Jarrett is going to be on my screen, I told you this. If Jeff Jarrett is on my screen, someone has to get hit with a guitar, or I'm not happy.
Because I was thinking a different way with them. Like, if they're gonna keep hitting FTR, does that mean they're just constantly having title matches?
No. Just, if Jeff Jarrett's going to be out there, guitar shop. Gotta happen. Or he's got to say slap nuts.
So
One of the two.
I'm just gonna end up throwing all these things together because it was all one giant story throughout the night. We got to see every member of the Four Pillars, Jay Lethal, every member of the Four Pillars besides MJF have a wrestling match tonight. Because the first match of the night was Darby and Orange Cassidy versus Big Bill and Lee Moriarty. I don't feel like this match was anything special. I'm not saying it in a bad way. AEW has a nice standard for their matches.
Yeah. As Orange Cassidy and Lee Moriarty, dope, as expected.
So, didn't blow me away, but it was good as expected. Like, that's the best way to kind of put most AEW matches in Dynamite. It's like, it wasn't anything crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, when they had, I like that little technical showcase those two had in the beginning. Just like, hey, just letting you know, the two of us can really fucking wrestle, but this is a sports entertainment match. So the rest of this is going to be sports entertainment.
That was the saving grace. When I looked up at the start of the match and saw those two as the guys that were starting off the match, I was like, hey, at least we should get some extended wrestling between these two. That should be good.
We did. Because you knew we were gonna get some real wrestling out of Orange Cassidy when he didn't put the glasses on, or he had the glasses off from the start. Because he leaves the glasses on when he's about to fuck around, but if he's taking the glasses off, it's about to be like Will Ospreay, like that match.
Yeah. So in the end, it was Darby who ends up getting the win, and that was probably the biggest point to this whole match was not that they got the win because we knew that was coming, but how he got the win.
Nah, man. The most important thing about this match was the guy walking around like a ring girl with the Tapatio sign. Tapatio is like top tier hot sauce, by the way. Well, I guess it's picante sauce technically, but that's just hot. But I don't know. I think it's the peppers are different that they use, but either way, that shit was great. It's just.
But Darby ends up hitting the coffin drop on Moriarty, but before he goes for the pin, he picks him up, and to send a message to MJF, hits him with a headlock takeover for the win. I get it. It sends a point. It does suck to kind of see somebody else lose to a headlock takeover.
Yeah, especially when you're a technical beast like Lee Moriarty. Like, a guy like that shouldn't lose to a headlock takeover. But Darby's just that good at headlock takeovers that that's what happened.
So, in this long Reddit running thread throughout the night, in one of the 2 times Orange Cassidy ends up talking with Renee, she asks him about Kyle Fletcher attacking him, and he basically says, I'm down for fighting anyone, double or nothing. Cool. Basically the same way that he's been the entire time, right?
Right. Yeah, he's just like, I'll fight everybody. It's cool. And then she's like, we're gonna have a 20-person battle royale. And he was like, well, I'm gonna be in it.
So 21.
So 21. And then it's Vegas, right?
Blackjack Battle Royal. So, hey, we know how they're going to finally get the belt off of Orange Cassidy.
I don't think so.
I still feel like it's time.
I don't think it's coming off. Not in a battle royale.
Ethan Page.
I think he's about to be like I could see how they can make him look. It's not gonna be Ethan Page, but I could see how they'll make him look really good in a loss. But nah, if he loses it, it's gonna be in a story. I feel like it's not just gonna be random. Oh, the title just came off of Orange Cassidy. Because he's been on one hell of a run.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't just end it like that. No.
So outside of that, on to the next moment for a pillar of the night. Sammy Guevara took on...
Yeah.
Say it.
Exodus Prime. Caprice's little brother. Because I thought that, like, at first glance, I thought it was Caprice. No lie. And I was like, why does Caprice not have a shirt on?
How long was this match? Like 1 minute?
I'm gonna go under. I would say more like 30 seconds.
Yeah, because Sammy gets on the mic after it. You can't even tell he did any kind of physical work, even though he just beat a guy, lifting him over his head and then tossing him down.
Because, yeah, he did one move and then his finisher pin. So, yeah, that had to have been less than a minute. But so that dude has been working babyface so hard.
we've kind of been talking about throughout the entire path, like, man, this was weird. He did babyface promo, but then had to like cut it back to heel. Babyface promo, cut it back to heel. And then tonight, when that happened, we are like, wait.
Like, oh, okay. He's really, really leaning into it tonight. It's like your typical baby face. I really worked hard and I did the things that tried, things that I'm not proud of. I made some mistakes, but it got me where I am now, and I'm going to be the champion one day. And I was like, man, this is like the most standard babyface promo, but it's weird, right?
Especially because like it starts off with the fact that he's in Texas where he got his start. So he talks about basically he grew up in front of everybody there and they've watched him make his mistakes, but hey, he's gonna be champion.
I made mistakes, but I'm gonna be the champion.
Then Renee had to go and talk to Darby. Renee talked to a lot of people tonight.
Yeah, Renee got a lot of screen time today. She was talking.
She asked the most obvious question, was the headlock takeover message. Darby's, yeah, obviously. Then to build onto the Sammy turning face thing, he interrupts. I didn't catch exactly how he said this. I know he just said he wasn't going to be a foul. He heard Darby or something like that. But more in the sense of like he got to him, right?
Yeah, it's just like I'm not laying down for anybody. Not for you, not for MJF. And I'm gonna beat all of you and blah blah blah.
Takes the very basic approach of anyone but MJF.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, what we got to do, one thing that we have to do is make sure that we don't let MJF win that thing. And then they pound it.
And just because we started off with this, I'll throw this back in here.
Pound
Later on, actually, we already talked about the Renee with the Orange Cassidy again. The second time was when he announced the Battle Royal, because she was like, 20 people went to Tony Khan's office.
They did.
So many people. There. Ethan Page. Ethan Page.
Did. He's like, hey, can I win a match one time? This is just once.
And not at Clash Wrestling.
Yeah.
Like on TV. Then the last of the pillars. Roosh versus Jack Perry.
I was confused for a moment there. You said the last of the pillars and started with Roosh.
I realized it as I said it.
He's one of the pillars?
Yes.
They definitely don't treat him like he's a pillar.
It's the pillar of a crumbling building that is... See, I already forgot what their faction name was. Los Ingobernables Faction.
Ingobernables. Faction Ingobernables, but
switch the words.
Roosh is he is like the pillar of a building that is crumbling, but on the surface you can't tell because it looks cool.
And on that building there is a big sign that says LFI.
Yeah. Because goddamn, Roosh, every time he's on the screen, it's probably going to be the best match of the night.
We really like chops, and he's got chops, so that's nice.
Because him making Jungle Boy wrestle his match, I loved it. He's like, if you're going to beat me, you got to be violent, kid.
Jungle Boy was his whipping boy before Roosh even got the whips out. Just taking him around ringside and whipping him around into the barricades and everything. Then came the cords.
Dude. Yeah, he tore Jungle Boy apart. I need that graphic. when he got him on the apron for that belly to belly. Ugh.
I remember who it happened to, but it completely slipped my mind until you went to that.
Yeah, yeah. That's been in my head all night. Because Roosh gets, or they, they've battled quite a bit inside the ring, and they both end up on the ring apron, and Roosh grabs Jungle Boy and suplexes him off of the ring apron. Jungle Boy's head is like, it had to have touched it had to have touched the floor on that, because that was so close. It looked like his neck was about to just snap.
So he did the whole running thing. It was like that overhead toss belly. Yeah, it was one of those moments you definitely stop, and I'm sitting there looking to like, you good over there?
I'm like, he moved, right? He moved, right? Please tell me he moved. Okay, he moved.
He's not holding his neck. He's doing okay down there.
Because holy shit.
Like,
the crowd didn't chant holy shit. They should have.
It's probably hard because think about where we sat for Dynamite last week. It's on the opposite side.
Only one side would have been able to see how that went down. Mm-hmm.
I guess the similar thing would be kind of like how we were sort of in position to see Luchasaurus chokeslam Serpentico on the outside, because we had the barriers that kind of blocked it and everything, but we could actually see what was happening.
Yeah. That was definitely my holy shit for the night.
So,
because anytime you make me fear for a man's life, legitimately, in something that's staged, you get me. You got me.
Yeah. So, at some point, Roosh, after whipping Jungle Boy around for ever and ever and ever, he does the whole heel thing, get into the ref's face, which allows Jungle Boy roll him up, get the win. Cool. Preston Vance and Jose, the assistant, come in. They start to attack Jungle Boy. And this is where we get back to the whole pillars thing. And the long storyline throughout the show.
A long story. Yeah. But I don't know. If obviously what was going to happen here was that Roosh was going to lose and attack Jungle Boy after the bell. Like, we knew that was going to happen. I just didn't know which pillar was going to come save him, or if it was going to be both of them. But I was like, somebody's going to come save him. And of course, Darby comes rushing out there. He just bounces himself off of Preston Vance. And like, he catches him and like makes it look like they're fighting it out. And I'm like, nah, he just flew into you and bounced off. I saw that.
My brain was like Satnam Singh style.
Yeah, he bounced off of him and he like catches him so that it didn't look too bad. Like, good on him.
Now, there were some samey chants as the 2-on-1, focus on Darby. There were some samey chants. It wasn't super, super crazy, but the pop was.
Yeah, Sammy actually got a pop. That was fucking weird. He got a real pop.
Everything about like the last month with Sammy has felt really weird after hating him for so long.
I know it's hard to hate what he's doing because he's doing good work. Yeah, Sammy saved him. He got that big moment at home, or home-ish. And they all stare each other down, and the crowd chants for MJF.
But instead, we get Renee once again approaching another pillar. backstage.
Hey, hey, this one was, at least this one was short.
Hmm.
MJF was clearly, he was backstage watching the whole thing and he was pissed. I think he just wants to have friends.
And the best part is he just goes she goes into it saying what everybody always says about like triple threats and fatal four ways. Hey, the champion doesn't have to get pinned. How are you feeling right now? No word.
He smacked that shit right out of her hand.
I just realized this might be like only the second time ever we've ever seen MJF on a screen and not say a word.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he might have purposely done it once before, but I can't remember.
See, because does All Out count since we were there?
That might be the
I guess
time
we
I'm
did see him on the big screen.
He did talk, yeah. And this would be similar because it would have been a video segment on the screen. Let's go, MJF.
Well, I mean, we know he's coming out of this with a win.
Oh, wait. I just realized something. If you go to that festival that happens over the same weekend as Double or Nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm probably going to end up missing that.
I'll have to talk to Brandon. Like, hey, do you want to watch it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to definitely be catching it later. Because I'm going to watch it, but God damn, I'm going to have to avoid everything.
That's where my brain was going. Like, once you get into the wrestling, like, it starts to pop up everywhere.
I won't even be able to look at my phone. Like,
hey, for the first time ever, you're gonna have a valid excuse to not go into Discord.
Yeah. That's gonna be the reason why I'm not on Discord. For once. Watch, this is gonna be the time that I forget and check it.
Like, hey, what did you all think about Rampage on Friday? Now, oh crap, there's spoilers.
Yep. And I'll be like, oh, and then there's the entire rundown. Shit.
I mean, that's literally the end of the pillar stuff, but it takes up so much of the show. I was gonna say I don't necessarily know where to go to next, but I do know where to go to next.
Mm-hmm.
The end of the show. Probably the biggest story beat for tonight's show. Well, at least one of them. Starts off with earlier in night, Alex Marvez. About the only person that showed up on the video screen that wasn't Renee tonight. Catches the Bucks walking through the parking garage, and they go to ask the simple question: How's Kenny?
How's Kenny?
In the weirdest way ever, wrestling TV shooting. Blackpool Combat Club comes out around them. It was almost like they were trying to circle them, but because of how TV is shot, they just kind of line up across from them.
Yeah, it was like Red Rover. And the Bucks lost.
It looked like all those video games when you pick 3-on-3 and they all start across from each other.
Yep. But yeah, the Bucks got slammed into a Dodge Ram, a red one. They got rammed into a Ram.
Matt, Wheeler Yuta took Matt's arm, the one that's still in like the sling, and slammed it into the truck. Like, yay, cool.
Yeah, he slammed it into the Ram. Right in front of the cam.
I got nothing.
The sound it made was wham.
I was trying to think of anything. I was like, I got nothing.
Okay, I'm done now.
So later on, to kind of our surprise as the show was going on and on and on, the actual main event of tonight was a segment, the Don Callis. We will hear from Don Callis segment. Tony Schiavone goes to invite out Don, and Don comes out. No music. Security guards lining the ramp, just figuring something might happen. Commentary said it was like to protect him from fans that want to get after him and stuff too.
Hey, I mean, look at him. He's worth whooping his ass. Look at him. He looks like his ass needs to get kicked.
But most importantly, no music. All you hear is just boos raining down.
That's a good Don Callis soundtrack. Just boo that man.
Please, somebody make a sign with that. Boo that man.
Boo this man.
Big, early on, giant piece of shit chance directed his way. Loved it.
Piece of shit. Piece of shit. Piece of shit.
To the point Tony Schiavone even like acknowledges it, and the commentary team's like, well deserved.
Yes, well deserved. Definitely well deserved. Shit. But yeah, Don did that whole. If I feel like everyone's explanation for why they turned on someone is always the same goddamn thing. I made you, and then you didn't listen to me all the time, so now I hate you.
Yeah, he said he was the victim, and nothing really about it sounded like he was really a victim. It was just him trying to take all the credit for Kenny.
Yeah, that's all it was. Is just I made you, Kenny. You're nothing without me. I was like, this is real standard stuff. Why is this closing out the show?
Kenny eventually comes out, but security gets in the way. But then the Blackpool Combat Club attacks him too. So I was sitting there wondering about it earlier when the Bucks got attacked and they were talking about it. I'm like, why wouldn't you just talk to Kenny if he's there? So it made me wonder if they were trying to say like he stayed home or something. But nope, he's there.
And he's in the building. And then, yeah, poor guy.
PCC ends up leaving him. They get into the ring with Don. Grab the mic. Mox tells him stay down. PCC says they're what everybody else around here is pretending to be. They are the elite. And then we hear super kick party. The Bucks roll out with garbage can and a bunch of weapons. Meet up with Kenny, who's now back up on the stage, just standing there as that trio, just like we had been seeing since they returned last summer.
Yeah.
But they weren't done. And
Nope.
Let me ask you, because I didn't really notice anything. Did you see any surprise in Kenny's face?
No. It didn't seem like he was very surprised at all.
Did it look like he had it planned though, or was it more of a like, all right, let's do this?
I wasn't paying too much attention to that. I just noticed that Hangman had a leather eye patch that was the same color as his leather coat. And I was like, who did that? Why?
But they kind of did the whole look at each other thing. Kenny gives him a weapon. Material goes crazy about how they used to be the champions, and they all run down and attack BCC with weapons. They end up clearing the house and stand in the ring, standing tall. At first, you have all the elite, which is standing on the rope away, towards the rope away from the stage. Hangman's more towards the ramp in the stage with the mic like he was going to talk. looks back at the group before he goes to line up with them.
Yeah.
In the moment we have waited all too long for.
Yeah. They're all friends again. Yay.
Not only
That
that,
was quite the image of all of them with hands raised in the middle of the ring together.
so during this little time with Hangman, I realized something though. I'm like, it also makes sense for him to be the fourth guy, the one with the mic and everything, because none of the other them are exquisite, like on the mic promo wise.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it also gives him like the more traditional promo too that help with the Elite too. So yes.
Hmm. Yeah. That's gonna be wild. And then Kenny, or not Kenny, and then Hangman calls for anarchy in the arena at Double or Nothing.
Mm-hmm. They
That'd
talk.
be hype.
It's about how they're the heart, they're the soul of what built this company, and just like the company name, they are the Elite. And just that's when the crowd finally gets to hear the words. You start to hear the chants. Everyone's happy. And that's a closing shot, and 100% going to be a thumbnail for this video. That are on the stage when they're all lined up together. But no matter what, it's them.
Yeah. See, and I wasn't even around for when they were together previously, but I'm still hyped about it. Still hyped about it.
I really hope somebody did one of those videos like telling the story, like including like cut up match clips and stuff. Like how there was that whole MJF CM Punk feud that somebody made like 2 different YouTube videos recapping the entire thing to prepare for their last match. I hope there's something with like the Kenny Hangman so I can be like, here, as opposed to watching like 6 hours of television and YouTube videos, watch these.
Heck yeah. I would love to see that, yeah. So I would like to know the whole thing. I mean, I know the gist of it, kinda, mostly. Nah.
So what would you like to talk about next? Because my notes are all over because of the way that they weave certain stories throughout the show tonight.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Do we have enough of Wardlow and Christian to get that out of the way before things that I'm actually more interested in speaking about?
I mean, it's such a quick thing. I could here just do this so that way it's at least mentioned if somebody watches back the live stream, they can see it. It was kind of straightforward how you would expect a segment between them to go. Wardlow comes out, said Christian made promises, so he wants him to come out there, get it, and spit in his face. Christian ends up coming out. They do the whole thing where they're face to face, but they're down the mic and they're just talking trash. And when Christian goes to like reach back to really get that substance, that volume, that extra for that loogie,
Or yeah, he really get that. You know, really hack that shit up.
Wardlow's able to grab him by the throat, but then Luchasaurus hops in and they end up beating the shit out. Get into a little fight. Christian uses a Lobo. They get the advantage. Luchasaurus gets a ladder match. They beat up him on the ladder. Real quick, I
didn't even think about it.
I just put the graphic up because after Christian smacks Wardlow with the ladder, they set it up leaning into the corner, chokeslam into the ladder, breaking that bitch in half pretty much. Christian Cage turns around, thumps the ladder back into like a flat piece before hitting a kill switch in the middle of the ring on Wardlow again. Leave him down there. Then he does what you aren't supposed to do, which is grab the title. when you haven't won it yet.
Yeah, you always do that when you're not gonna win the title.
This is the closest I'm ever gonna get.
Yeah. Heck yeah, man. Show it to the people. Let them know that you're not gonna win. Hey, I'm not gonna win. Look at me. I'm not gonna win.
So then later, we end up seeing Wardlow in the trainer's room. Art Anderson comes in. I'm sorry I wasn't there. I didn't want you to be there. You don't have to protect me. I've been in this for so long. Awkwardly,
No.
this made me laugh.
I like that he threw the ice away.
That's what made
and
me
he's
laugh.
like, nah. And he's like, nah, you ain't a little bitch. Don't be a bitch. He just basically gave him that, like, that boomer pep talk of put some dirt in it and keep moving.
He was so awkward with the ice pack though. Like he grabbed it like, and then it wasn't even like a really hard throw, but he throws it literally over Wardlow's shoulder into the wall that's a foot behind him. Like, cool.
Yeah, man. You don't need that. You don't need that. Just accept the pain, Wardlow. Man. But the gist of it is, of all the matches that we have on the card for Double or Nothing, the one that I want to be a ladder match the least is going to be a ladder match. That's right. Wardlow, big meaty man, versus Christian in his 40s, knees on a ladder.
Honestly, I wish they didn't say 20 people, and maybe they could have did something where like Orange Cassidy had like a 5 or a 6-way ladder match for his title.
Yeah. Oh, that would be hype. One day. Because he's definitely retaining. But yeah. So that match though, what do you think? Will it be the bathroom break, or will it be the surprise of the night?
The fuck you talking about, sir? You're gonna be watching it on record. You can take a piss whenever you want.
I don't know. I'm asking you.
I'll probably switch to my phone whenever I need to go to the bathroom and just take it with me. Depends on where I'm watching it. Like if I just stay home and I watch it.
My shoulder did this nice thing, and it just popped. And
Honestly, I think that basically leaves the women's stuff. And then Jericho versus Strong. And then, nope, Jay White and Ricky Starks.
yeah.
There's still so much left.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the 3 things I mentioned, who out of them, there isn't really much to it either.
There's your schmack.
You know what?
All right, let's go down the line.
So the next thing out of those that happened on tonight's show was Ruby Soho, Tony Storm of the Outcast versus Hikaru Shida and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. They talk about how this is happening as a tag team match because Jamie Hayter still isn't cleared. I'm really surprised because I didn't think they necessarily would try to blow off any kind of feud anyway, which also makes sense why it hasn't happened yet. But considering what happened after the match, I'm a little bit surprised because the way they were going, I figured the 3-on-3 might have actually happened at the pay-per-view, and that's why I was holding out hope Jade would have a title match.
Yeah, definitely feel like that should happen either at Double or Nothing, or it should have happened before. You're right. Yeah, I don't know.
So
either way, they are trying their hardest to make it not look like Ruby is the star of the Outcasts, but she just is. Okay, She's better than Saraya and Tony Storm, and it shows every time.
So you wanted to give it time and see how they all worked out as heels. I tried to do the same thing. Still don't like Tony as a heel. I do agree Sarah is better as a heel. I think we were both confident that would work out.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
at least the good side thing is if Ruby can look good, hopefully they'll eventually roll with it. Like they'll become undeniable, hopefully, kind of deep thing.
It feels right. Oh, one other thing, Sheeta's new ring gear looks like figure skating gear rather as opposed to wrestling gear. I didn't dislike it, but I was like, I kind of like the other gear, but better.
Thinking back to it, there has been outfits that they've had in the past too that I could see that would make sense if it was used in that capacity.
Mm-hmm.
But the Outcasts do what they do every single time they have a match: is one, cheat a lot, two, let Ruby do most of the work and let the other person get the pin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what it was like. It was another Outcast match, basically. The meat of the match was pretty good because Ruby is really good and Sheeta is really good. So the meat of the match was good, but the finish was meh. And
Brit
it was
is
another forgettable match because of the finish.
Brit is like when it's a big match, like it's the pay-per-view or the main event type of match, Brit usually shows up in those pretty well. Her week to week can be kind of paint by numbers.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. She's a dentist outside of this, so it's hard to. It's hard.
This is one of only 2 careers.
Yeah, you only got 2 careers.
Brit was actually getting close to winning. She was able to hit her air crash and the curb stomp before Saraya distracts her rep, which allows Ruby, the best of the bunch, to help out Tony, sliding her the spray paint.
And then Tony gets that was like, it's like the laziest pile driver. Her pile driver is like, it makes me think of if Orange Cassidy did a pile driver, that's probably what it would look like.
See, and even back in the old video games, there was a pulling pile driver that was kind of similar, but there was like still more of a pull up, and then there was like a snap.
Yeah,
to the downward motion.
So there's a snap down at the. Yeah, because you like they would. I didn't know what you meant. They would like start falling backwards, and then there's like a snap down at the bottom of it to make it look a little bit more vicious. But yeah, hers just looks like what if Orange Cassidy decided to do a pile driver?
She couldn't hit her with that snap down. She didn't lay the snap down.
Yeah, she did not lay the snap it down.
Yeah, because Tony was able to hit her with the spray paint. I'm surprised with paint, well, the spray, whatever it is, like the way that they shot it, it looked like she would have sprayed all up in this area. You see Britt's face after, and it's basically just like a patch of hair right here. I'm like, well, that's good. It's probably not healthy spraying things in people's eyes.
Yeah, you probably don't want that in your eyes. Probably don't.
Then making like her 27th appearance of the night. Later on, Renee talks with Tony.
I forgot.
We might have heard Renee talk more than Taz tonight.
I think so, because Taz he's gonna let Excalibur do his thing, and then he's gonna just chime in with some silly shit here and there.
Yeah, because no one's gonna touch Excalibur. He says more words than anybody just in the rundown for Rampage.
Yeah, yeah. Like Excalibur is. I think that's why Taz is probably the perfect announce partner for Excalibur, because Excalibur is like the traditional announcer, like the perfect guy for everything. Like he talks fast as shit. He knows the name of every damn move that's ever existed in wrestling somehow. And then you got Taz over there. You got a fork, bro?
But Renee talks about how Tony had broke a record because we'd already heard this like at the end of the match. She has 4 wins in 5 days. So that is what? YouTube Monday, YouTube Tuesday, Wednesday, then a house show over the
But they
weekend.
don't do the YouTube show anymore.
Did they already stop it? Or
Hmm.
so just house?
Yeah, yeah. They only have house shows now. They
Because
have house shows, and then they still have the dark matches. There's just not going to be any. They're actually going to be dark matches now.
wait. Man, no, don't really care. So the whole point of this was basically Tony Storm's calling out Jamie for the pay-per-view at Double or Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
This feud is
She
so
wants a
freaking
rematch.
weird.
Yeah, and then you obviously know that it's not going to end there, because it's obviously got to come to Saraya and Jamie Hayter at some point.
And you need to actually have that 3-on-3 match in a big way.
Hmm. I feel like after Double or Nothing, that feud, or okay, maybe I don't. I'm hoping that it's going to take off after Double or Nothing, and they're going to do some crazy stuff. We'll have that 3-on-3 match, and then they're going to set up Saraya and Jamie Hayter for All In.
I was gonna say that's Wembley, so we got some time.
Mm-hmm. That's what I said. It's got some time to breathe still, but they can do a lot with it.
Women's champion could be busy at Forbidden Door facing whoever the IWGP women's champion is, so that's gonna kind of wrap up their thing for a little bit of time, and then you can use the tag team match as whatever special kind of Dynamite that you have in the meantime, and then get to All In. It feels so far away at the same time.
It is, but it isn't at the same time. As you think about it, like there's not going to be, nothing is really else is going to progress until Double or Nothing here. So that takes you out of the month of May already. All ends in what, August?
Yeah, I think it's right around the middle, maybe slightly earlier than middle.
So then it's 2.5 months there.
I'm
So
pretty
it's
sure.
not as far as away as
Oh
it
my god! I
seems.
just realized something, dude. If we knock all those things out, we're gonna be at SummerSlam, like a week or two later, have All In to watch, and then like 2 weeks later, have a weekend trip to Chicago.
Holy schmoly goly. And we're actually going to be in Chicago. That's the main reason why I want to go. I was like, oh, it's actually going to be in Chicago and not Hoffman Estates.
Because I'm not gonna lie, there's like a part of me that says like, all right, if I'm going with SummerSlam, do I need to spend the money associated?
Yeah, like we don't have to go, but
I want to go.
like if it's possible, that's basically what I'm saying is if it's possible, we should.
So
Because
it's
I
one of
know
those.
you haven't been to Chicago. I haven't been since I was 17.
Listen, man.
So didn't get to do Chicago as an adult.
Listen, man. I was in Chicago for about 30 minutes because of that construction that slowed us down going through there.
Yeah, that was Chicago. We were there in a car.
Sitting still practically.
Yep.
Like almost at the end of the drive, like you're waiting, you like, I'm gonna stretch my feet and I'm gonna run to the bathroom. And then it's like, no, fuck you. Here's traffic and construction. Where are we, in Michigan?
If it was Michigan, there would be like less lanes, and that's the problem. I feel like most of Michigan's traffic problems are the fact that there's not enough lanes. Because everywhere else, there's like 5 lanes on the freeway.
But I think that stretch going through right there was 3 and it was down to 2.
That's true.
I think that stretch was. But like where the tolls and everything was, yeah, that shit was 5 lanes.
Yeah. Like in Michigan, you don't get 5 lanes ever. Like, you're real lucky if you got 4, and that 4th lane is gonna end at some point.
I'm trying to remember, like when mergers and stuff initially happened. Is 5 what 96 gets up to with mergers?
4.
I just mean like you have that because you know how they run like the on ramp into the off ramp a lot in certain spots.
Yeah.
So like at that point, it's like 5 wide, but one's like the ramp, the merge lane, right?
It might be closer to downtown. I don't pay that much attention. I also don't take 96 a lot.
I don't take it too often, but I had a couple times recently. It made me stop and think.
Because 94 is my jam. Except for the last 2 weeks, though. All right, fuck traffic. Since we're in the middle of stuff now, Tony Khan said that we're going to Regina. So Tony Khan was announcing Collision, and he was talking about the locations, and one of the cities' names was Regina. And that is what he said. The crowd cracked the fuck up. You could hear it in the background. And then when they cut back to commentary, Taz is just sitting there with the glasses on, like, just trying to keep a serious face. Because you know that, because Taz is childish as fuck. So you know that was all he could think about, was he just said Regina. So I need somebody to confirm that for me. Is it Regina or Regina? Because if it's not Regina, goddamn, that was great.
Playing the hockey video games all the time, you used to be able to pick from a lot of those teams, and people would pick them. I'm trying to remember the commentary.
It's Regina. Regina.
It might be.
It might be Regina.
It might be.
He sounded real hyped to say Regina.
I mean,
like
Tony Khan always acts like he's on cocaine.
This. Yeah. He might be.
Going back to...
He also said that he's going to announce the first, or I can't remember if he said that he himself will be announcing it, but the first location for the Collision show is going to be announced next week. And I feel like everyone should bet their money on Chicago.
They are in Chicago for the Dynamite after, so makes sense.
In which you said it during the show that if it is Chicago, that means that CM Punk is returning next week.
But I also kind of walked it back. they might announce it by like a video package that
Mhm.
includes CM Punk. Like, I'll see you in
Okay.
Chicago or something, and not
Okay.
actually come out
Not
until
like a
Chicago.
return. Yeah.
Just like a hype video, say next week, tune in or whatever kind of situation.
Hmm. I could see that. Yeah, that sounds more likely.
So, what would you like to go with next? We slightly talked and completely in the wrong time and place. We have Chris Jericho versus Roderick Strong in the Falls Count Anywhere match.
So we pretty much talked about the whole match already.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
gotta see if I gotta cut. I'll see if I can cut out enough of it from earlier. I really don't care at this point. I'm tired. And then the main event ish of the evening, because it was the last match.
Yes. The question marks main event.
Ricky Starks versus Switchblade Jay White.
Accompanied by Rock Hard Juice Robinson.
I love Juice.
Me too. Grape, apple, pineapple. It's
So,
pretty good.
me saying that reminded me how that's one of those phrases that will totally look like I love you.
I love juice.
But now also I hear, as you say it, I hear it as olive juice in a way too.
Yes, I love juice.
So
It's great. I don't even like olives.
towards the
The
end
only
of
thing olive that I like is olive oil. And I'm talking about from Popeye.
not what I expected.
No, I do cook with olive oil.
So Jay White eventually gets tripped up in the match, which allows Ricky to the spear, goes for the Rochambeau.
I like that sequence there.
Jay White's able to gouge out his eyes to escape, and that causes like a distraction situation. What? So before we get to the like end here, to kind of justify it, do you feel that the end of this match, what happened, matches the amount of intensity that's necessarily been portrayed throughout the development of this story?
It was a shock for me. I didn't think that it would go to that. I didn't think he was just Ricky seems like he's going to always try and win the right way. But
it didn't feel heated enough to get to this point to take this finish. I mean, I guess it helps just, I guess the whole point is just to try to find a good way to extend it out. But usually, don't you make the heel do this then?
yeah. But another thing is Ricky's one of the few wrestlers that actually plays into his intelligence. And I think he kind of saw that he didn't have an option to beat
Jay White.
Jay White clean there, the way they were setting him up. So he was like, you know what? I'm going to go out with a moral win.
So what happened was when the ref was distracted with Jay after gouging the eyes, Juice gets in with the ring, with the chair. I swear to God, I thought they were about to try to pull the Eddie Guerrero spot. And I wasn't going to necessarily be happy with that just because we see it so often in wrestling now.
It is definitely overused nowadays. But no, Ricky was just like, all right, I'll take the chair, beating your ass. And I'll beat his ass with the chair too.
And the ref even let it slide the first time too. He did the, he hits Juice with the chair after Juice misses. Juice gets out of the ring. He gets the gut shot on Jay White. And then Sean Payton starts to warn him, like, he hasn't DQ'd him yet. You know, Sean Payne, the same head coach that employed Bounty Gate, right?
Oh,
Right?
Sean Payton.
Paul Turner, right? I think is the name.
I think his name is Paul Turner. Uh, he does look like Sean Payton, though.
If he
God
just
damn
like
it.
trims up his hair a little bit so it sticks up again, it'll be so much closer.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, but I don't know. I kind of like this. We'll see where it goes from here, but I think this can be another layer for Ricky's character of, no, I'm not just going to be that haha Bugs Bunny
I just hope they find a way
kind
to,
of guy.
as this continues, bring some real heat to this feud. It's because it's like I know they're in a feud. I know what happened to kind of start it, but it doesn't feel like there's a ton of heat to it.
No.
And I want to like both these guys, but it feels like nothing.
Yeah, it just kind of got thrown together. Which, it. Who knows how long they knew Jay White was going to sign, and they were like, "Yeah, we got to do something with him right away." And this feud definitely feels like a hey, we just need something to do right away kind of thing.
So when that happened and the ref got the bell rang and it was a DQ finish and Jay White wins, heavy boos throughout the arena, which is weird to see with Ricky in the ring. But he sat there still like air guitaring on the chair. Yeah. I'm like, they're not booing Ricky, right? They're just booing a DQ finish.
I think they're booing the DQ finish.
Just
more than anything.
It just kind of felt awkward after the match with all that happening. Maybe that's just because we don't ever get DQs that people were just like thrown off. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if Austin, or was it Austin, Texas they were in?
Yeah, that's what they were saying. Yep.
Yeah. I think Austin wanted I think they wanted the match that we're going to get at Double or Nothing here, in which I went into this thinking that some kind of shenanigans was going to happen here.
I just realized the fact it makes all the more sense in the world that the finish of the show was a segment now, because if they had finished the show, like the actual show with the DQ finish, no thank
you. All the headlines tomorrow would have been AEW is basically just WCW.
Like, I'd be okay with them happening more periodically, like every so often throughout the body of the show, because you're also trying to build stories. But I really hate that countouts, like a heel like leaving the match and walking up the ramp. I don't want to see those end the show.
You wouldn't want to see that to end a show. I'm cool with it happening, just not all the time.
Like, in all honesty, I would not mind if AEW every now and then did sprinkle in more of the weird finishes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely not.
Just not too much.
Yeah. Right. Because we went through we're years into AEW now, and you can still count the number of matches that ended up in DQ finish on TV with one hand.
God damn. Yeah. I still remember I was 6 months into probably more. I was probably like 8 or 9 months into watching before I saw a DQ finish. And I was like, that was a DQ finish. I was actually excited about it.
Shock, surprise,
I
that's
hadn't
always
seen
good thing.
one. Yeah.
That's why I
'Cause
don't.
it, like, at first it didn't even register, and I was like, wait, that match didn't end the way it was supposed to.
That's
That's
all.
weird. They do that here?
Like they're at a pace of like what, maybe like every 9 months to a year it
I'm gonna
happens,
say, like, yeah, like almost
even
once a
more.
year.
Like if they up that to twice a year, I'm not gonna bitch and moan. Just don't up it
Right,
to twice a month.
right, right. Yeah, like, yeah, if it's gonna be every other show, yeah, we don't want that. But, every few months or so, building up big story or something, that'd be cool.
Like it's a storytelling thing in wrestling history. You can still use it just like you did this time. Just make sure it's in service of the story, not a crutch.
Right, right, right.
All right, fuck
All right,
y'all.
you
I'm ready to
guys.
sleep.
Yeah, I gotta sleep.
I'm a little bit too blunt sometimes. Speaking of blunt, we are Top Rope Tokes. Thank you for coming by. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, share. We still got clips from Dynamite going up every, still at least for a couple more days, and I think I got more to schedule out into next week. But we're also gonna have some GCW ones hitting this weekend. Can't wait to see you, Maki Ito.
Yeah.
Night. Anything else to say?